Okay, let us see. So the formation of gametes. So the necessity. So we see here. If we have ovum here, alright, and then the sperm. Okay, when they fertilize, okay, when the sperm fertilize the ovum, okay, that is measured. If this chromosome number, the formation, the gamete doesn't form, right, or there is no process to cut the to make the chromosome number into half, so you will have 46 in human and then 46 in the male and female. You have 46, so 46 by 46 you will have 92. So imagine this 92 organism, then they grow adult and then they reproduce again. So 92 plus 92, so we will keep on increase the chromosome number generation to generation, which is not going to be. Alright, if this is sexual reproduction means you have to combine two gametes. Okay, so you must, or we have to cut short, or the cell or the organism have to cut the chromosome number into half. So how to cut into half? They have to undergo meiosis. Okay, you have learned meiosis. So meiosis will cut the amount of chromosome, okay, the number of chromosome into half, so that during fertilization, okay, you will have 23 plus 23, and every generation you will ensure that the amount of chromosome, the number of chromosome is being maintained. So that is the main necessity of the gamete formation. You have to form the gamete in order to maintain the number of chromosomes, okay, from one generation to another generation. So when we want to form gamete, okay, we have to undergo the division. We call it meiosis. So this meiosis is a very important to get your gamete. Now, from the gamete process of getting the gametes, not only meiosis, yeah, you have series of a process. Okay, in that series of process, okay, the meiosis will come inside, will come into it. Okay, we will see the meiosis inside the process. So for the animals, the formation of gamete is named gametogenesis. Gamete. Okay, gamete. Genesis means synthesis or the formation. For plant, we use sporogenesis. That means sporogenesis means we have to form the spore or the seed. Okay, so let us see what is gametogenesis, to form the gametes. How is it happening? Okay, for plant we will not see here. Yeah. Okay, now. So basically, generally, this is how the process look like. So we have one spermatogenesis here. So the gametogenesis is divided into two again. So gametogenesis divided into spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So spermatogenesis, from the name of it, is sperm. Oogenesis is the ovum. So how we going to get the sperm? You see, end of the day you get sperms, or we call it spermatozoa. Sperm and spermatozoa, they are the same thing. Okay, and then from oogenesis, at the end you see you get your ovum. Okay, so during the process of this meiosis, they will undergo the meiosis 1, meiosis 2, and then they will have differentiation in order to become a functioning cell or the functioning gamete. Okay, the functioning gamete. So we will see one by one. Okay, let us start with gamete. So if you forgot what is chromosome, this is a picture on chromosome. So for human, you have 22 pairs, which is 44, then plus 1x, 1y. So this is a male. Okay, XY is sex chromosome. So this is called karyotype. Karyotype, we have 42 and 46. Okay, that means 22 pairs plus 1 sex chromosome. Okay, so just to recall, all these chromosome except except the gamete, they are all called the autosome. Autosome are all the chromosome which is not belong to the sex chromosome. Okay, sex chromosome is one pair over here, one only, which determine the gender of the organism. Okay, let us see male reproductive system. So male reproductive system is the one that is responsible to produce the sperm and to make sure the sperm meet up with the ovum. Okay, so let us see. So this is the side view. So from the side view, we can see, you can just see lah. You have seminal vesicle, ejaculatory prostate, rectum. This bulborectal gland. Bulborectal gland, you have a name for it. We call it seminal fluid gland. Okay, seminal fluid gland. Yes, see, this is the seminal vesicle, right? So it came from the gland. So we use the one seminal gland. Okay, seminal fluids gland. Okay, epididymis. So right, this one is just on top of the testis. Okay, this function you have to know, yeah. Then scrotum is just the outer layer, the skin layer that protect the testes. Then the penis, urethra, spongy body, all this is just to know. Okay, so the main parts that you have to remember the functions. Okay, so this is side view and then front view. Okay, side view and then front view. So the main you can just read up lah. Okay, the main function, yes, this is the main function that you should know: the testis function, the epididymis, sperm duct, the seminal vesicle, the glands, yeah, then the urethra, penis, and scrotum. These are the main function that you must know. Okay, so spermatogenesis, let us see, it starts from PGC. So later we will see what is PGC. Actually I have notes behind here, so you just read up. I will explain only the pictures. Okay, so or the diagram. So for spermatogenesis, it starts from primordial germinal cell. Okay, primordial germinal cell. Some of the book or your books will use the word primordial germinal cell or germinal epithelial cell. So this word germinal epithelial cell, primordial germinal cell, is referring to the beginning, the parent cell. So the parent cell in the testis. Okay, in the testis, and then it will undergo mitosis to produce a lot of spermatogonium. Okay, many spermatogonium, millions of it. Then this spermatogonium will divide again to get more spermatogonium. Okay, so the gray and then the gray. So this gray will produce some more spermatogonium, but we will focus on one of it. Okay, that means we take one of it. Actually, you have to extend a lot. Okay, but we just focus on one because the process is the same. So we focus on one spermatogonium over here. So one of the spermatogonium will grow and then become the primary spermatocyte. Okay, so from the primary spermatocyte, it will undergo meiosis 1. So remember meiosis 1, you will have two haploid daughter cells. So the daughter cell means the product. So from primary spermatocyte undergo meiosis, you will get N. Okay, the number of chromosome to half diploid. Haploid already. So then meiosis 2 carry out, so you will get 2, 2. That means 4 haploid. Okay, haploid daughter cell, or we call it spermatid. Spermatid is still in the form of the cell, I mean round or sphere. Okay, so in order to have the sperm structure, yeah, it have undergo differentiation. So this is very easy. Okay, they just divide and then undergo mitosis. So mitosis first, then meiosis. Okay, after that you will get differentiation for the to become the sperm, so that they can swim or mobile into that to meet up with the ovum. Okay, so this is, have you just read lah. I think not much. You see, divide many times, and this one means mitosis. Okay, it will replicate by mitosis several times, and then you have the primary spermatocyte. So until it become primary spermatocyte, it will start to undergo meiosis. Okay, after that, from meiosis 1, it produces a secondary spermatocyte. Then meiosis 2 produce spermatic, and then it differentiate to get your sperm. Okay, now and then it will reach in it will travel inside the tubule, and then it will reach epididymis in order to be stored inside. Now just to take note, yeah. Now this PGC, yeah, the primordial germinal cell, they are all inside the testis, but to be specifically, they are in the seminiferous tubule. So we will see where is the seminiferous tubule. This one down there is extra, I just read up. Okay, this is the seminiferous tubule. Okay, so this is the testis. So inside the testis, they have a lot of tubes. So all the tubes, inside the tubes itself, the wall, you see, is zoomed out. Okay, zoom. So this is the wall. So inside the tube, we have primordial germ cell. Primordial germ cell is actually the blue one, the gray. Okay, yeah. Then surrounding the gray is the yellow part. It's called the Sertoli cell. Sertoli cell is the one that give nutrition. Okay, support energy, nutrient for the division of the spermatogonium. So this, it will start from the part nearer to the wall. Okay, spermatogonium nearer to the wall, then become primary, then secondary will be further into the tubes. See the here, further into the tube, center of the tube. Okay, so after differentiation it becomes sperms. Okay, so it will go, or will flow inside the tube and then entering the epididymis, keep inside or store inside here. That means the epididymis will store the matured sperm. Okay, the one already, yeah, this one. Okay, the matured sperm which is already differentiated. Okay, so this is another pictures to show. It start from here. Okay, mitosis, then meiosis, then differentiation, then become sperm. Sperm will move inside the tube, go to the epididymis. So this is the gametes. Okay, we will see the sperm first, alright, or we call it the spermatozoa. So you have know that the spermatozoa have this head region, the middle piece, and then the tail for the mobility. Alright, so the head, they have one part we call the acrosome. Then behind the acrosome is the nucleus, and then with the centriole. So this middle piece will have a lot of mitochondria, so to provide energy. Okay, let us see. So you have to know the function, yeah. So you have to know the function. So next, we see the female reproductive system. So this is from the front view. So as to know, okay, this one, the uterus, the uterus is actually in three-dimensional. It's a dome. Okay, so it's the dome shape. You know a dome, a bowl. Okay, that means something like a bowl flipped. Okay, so inside the bowl is all the muscular wall. Okay, endometrium. Okay, endometrium are the muscular wall. Yeah, that's the muscular wall of the uterus. So endometrium is the lining of it. Okay, on the uterus wall. Sometimes we take it the same lah. But when you learn menstrual cycle, endometrium is the one that will have the endometrium is the one that will fall. Okay, then we have the cervical, and then cervix, and then the vagina, then ovary over here, then fallopian tubes. So oviduct is fallopian tube. Okay, so this ovary ligament is to hang or to hold the ovary. Okay, now this is from the front and the side. So same thing, you have your ovary thing. Okay, the bladder is over here. Okay, this is the uterus, the bladder is here. So that's why when you remember, yeah, when we say pregnant woman, they will need to go to toilet. When the baby gets bigger and bigger, it will press on the bladder. So the size of the ability of the bladder to contain urine will become smaller, okay, or lesser. So when the ability is smaller, that means it cannot store too much of urine. So every time you have to go, you need to urinate more often. Okay, because you see the uterus is over here, you will press on the bladder, the urinary bladder. Okay, this is the summary for the function and the parts. You can find it in your book also. Okay, so ovary, fallopian tube, uterus, vagina. So they just read up. So this produce the hormone. Yes, we have seen the hormone. Okay, the function of these two hormones later on in the in menstrual cycle. We will look again. Yeah, what is the function of estrogen and progesterone. Okay, then fallopian tube is the site of fertilization. Uterus is the site of implantation, and it has this lining called endometrium. So sometimes we will refer the uterus as endometrium lah, but it's better for you to understand it's just a lining called endometrium. Okay, then from there you will form the placenta and so on. Then vagina is allowed the entry of the sperm and the exit of baby at birth. Okay, let us see oogenesis. It will be a little bit or slightly different from spermatogenesis. Okay, because it happened just long before puberty. For spermatogenesis to have to produce in order for the testes to produce sperm, it start when the boy reach maturity, when he become a man. Okay, so after puberty, only the man will produce sperm. But for women, okay, it start before birth. Before birth, meaning to say, if it's in the mother womb, okay, when it is still in the mother uterus, okay, when it's formed, when it's a girl, the ovary will start to produce the follicles, okay, or we call the primary oocyte. Okay, that means during pregnancy, if the baby is a girl, so the ovary will start the germinal cell in the ovary. This is ovary. Okay, will have this primary oocyte. That means same thing. Just now we have men, we have the primordial germinal cell, right? So this primordial germinal cell is repeating the mitosis. We repeat the mitosis to get more numbers. So same thing here. This germinal cell in the ovary will also repeat the mitosis here to get a lot of germinal. Okay, and then some of the germinal will mature and become primary oocyte, and then it stay there. I mean it resting. Okay, it rests. So you see the primary oocyte here. Okay, so we will start with primary oocyte after puberty. For women, okay, after puberty or after the puberty, the primary oocyte will start to develop. Develop means grow. Okay, so when it grow under the influence of the hormones, then it will go down like that. Okay, so become the developing hormone, mature, then it release one secondary oocyte. That means this is the parts that you have learned. Ovulations, okay, ovulation will release a secondary oocyte. Last time you learned secondary oocyte, the ovary will release ovum, right? But no, actually when it release, it's actually secondary oocyte. Now the secondary oocyte will move inside the fallopian tube, alright, and then it will finish up meiosis 2 and then become an ovum to be fertilized with the sperm. Okay, can see. So every time they have one primary oocyte every month. Okay, every 28 days. Every 28 days, one more primary oocyte will have become matured, and they divide, and then this first polar body and the one that is produced, and the second polar body here, all the four here will degenerate or disintegrate. Even though they undergo meiosis, they will just, we call it destroy lah, or it's better to use the word disintegrate or degenerate. Okay, it becomes small in size and then disappeared. So the one that is being released is one secondary oocyte, and in the secondary oocyte you have one ovum. Okay, and this ovum, the secondary oocyte will finish up the meiosis 2 in the fallopian tubes. Okay, in the fallopian tubes, and then the minute it meets with the sperm, okay, then it will become a embryo or zygote. Yeah, this is the bigger one. Okay, so before birth, after puberty, you see, it will stop. That means when it's 0 month, okay, when it starts birth, okay, sorry, it is, when it become baby, the first when it's born, until the age, let's say puberty is age 13, so 0 month to age 13, this ovary will have a lot of this primary oocyte. Arrest in prophase, that means it just stopped at the prophase 1, meiosis 1, prophase. So you still have your anaphase, metaphase, and telophase, right? So after puberty, it will continue. The meiosis continue until it produce secondary oocyte and one polar body. This polar body will degenerate. So this secondary oocyte will be released into the fallopian tube. That is called ovulation. Then wait for the sperm to enter and to the sperm entry, and then to fertilize it. And during here, they will finish the meiosis. Okay, you will finish meiosis. You will finish the meiosis 2. Okay, so that is how it form. Okay, so this is more on the explanation. You just read up. So this is in word. Okay, this is in word. So you can do some summary for this. Okay, if you have anything, you just ask lah. Okay, so you can leave the message down there to us. Okay, and I will answer it. So the primordial germ cell basically is almost the same. It will replicate by mitosis to 2 million. So this is more on numbers lah. So just now we are not talking about number, so this is number. So about 2 million during gestation, meaning during the pregnancy periods. At the week, about 20 weeks, during 20 weeks. So our gestation period is 40 weeks, yeah, 40, so half of the week. That means middle of the gestation period, the baby girl, okay, the baby girl will have about 2 millions of this primordial germ cell, which already mitosis, undergo mitosis in the ovary. So these 2 million will become meiosis before birth. That means after 20 weeks it will start meiosis 1, and then it will stop at primary oocyte, okay, which is prophase. Okay, this 2 million will stop at meiosis 1, and then it wait until puberty. So after puberty it will continue metaphase 1, anaphase and telophase, and then to become secondary oocyte and first polar body. Okay, so after that, these two, this secondary and the first polar body, so the first polar body will replicate into 2 polar. So that's why we count 3 just now. 2 plus 1 here, that means 3 polar body will be formed where they will degenerate. Then another secondary oocyte, that is another daughter cell, which is the secondary oocyte, it will stop at metaphase 2. Okay, wait for it to be released out from the ovary. Okay, and then before it go out, it release into the release out from the ovary, release into the fallopian tubes. Yeah, it is enclosed inside a follicles. We call it Graafian follicle. Okay, so yes, this is the one. Okay, the Graafian follicle. Where is it? Yes, starting here, primary. So growing follicle. See, after secondary. Okay, it will be kept inside a follicle. So the follicle will grow and become matured. Okay, so when it matured already, it will release the secondary oocyte. Okay, and this follicle the empty follicle is now called the corpus luteum. Okay, it's the corpus luteum, and this corpus luteum will become a gland, a hormonal gland to produce progesterone if fertilization happen. If there is no fertilization, it will just degenerate. Okay, degenerate means missing, okay, break down, destroy, and then recycle. Okay, so the secondary oocyte, it will enter fallopian tubes and to be fertilized. Okay, so this is another picture here to show, this is before birth. So inside the ovary, what happened to the the primary oocyte? So the primary oocyte is surrounded by follicle. You see, the follicle will grow out bigger and big. Then we call it, when it reach a matured follicle, we call it Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle, and then it release the secondary oocyte. Then the secondary oocyte will enter the fallopian tube. The leftover follicle is called corpus luteum. The same follicle will have different name. Before it mature, it's called follicle. After that, it called the Graafian follicle, and then it become corpus luteum. Okay, maybe it's a bit confused there. Okay, just you have to get the idea of it. Okay, so this is another pictures. Okay, growing follicle. So mature follicle is called Graafian follicle. So Graafian follicle, it will release the secondary oocyte. So from the secondary oocyte, it left out the empty follicle. We call it corpus luteum. Okay, so again we have this to show you the human ovum. Okay, so you just get the function and the parts of it. Okay, so this is in your textbook. So what we need to know is this. Okay, the jelly coat, okay, the cytoplasm, the nucleus. Okay, these are the granula. So all this is the parts in the ovum. Okay, it's the follicle cell. So when the sperm fertilized with the ovum, it will reach this zona pellucida. So when it's reached zona pellucida, the rest of the parts will harden. That means it will not allow 2 sperm to fertilize 1 ovum. Okay, only 1 sperm can fertilize 1 ovum. Okay, that means 1 ovum plus 1 sperm. Okay, that means the minute the acrosome reach the zona the jelly coat, okay, the jelly coat, it will send in the nucleus, and then the whole thing will become hardened, and it block other sperm to enter. Okay, so we will stop here. Thank you.